Yo, yo, yo. What's up, folks? Welcome to another episode of Stirring the Pot in the Pot with Tigmatic. Hey, we here. And tonight Queen has a guest, which is my guest as well. So I'm gonna let my co-host do her thing and introduce our guest. Let's get it.
Well, we have Miss Love Doctor herself, Miss Life Coach, Miss Inspiration, Miss Tia Love Jones. Welcome to
Hey,
Stirring the Pot, y'all.
Thank
hey.
you. Thank you. Hey, thank you for the welcome.
Welcome, welcome. So, why don't you tell the people a little bit about yourself? Let's get into that first before a million questions come.
Mhm.
Introduce yourself only like you could to the world. Like, tell us about you.
Absolutely. First of all, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you
Oh,
for
my pleasure, my pleasure.
the special invite. That question gets very trying to answer, so I'll just try to do as best as possible. I am Shartia Love Jones, better known as Tia, and I am a motivational speaker. I call myself an inspirer, and I am a professional MC as well as a published author. I have two books. One of my books, the third one, is actually in editing right now. I am a 26-year educator, lead educator. So I have
Mm,
26 years of education, leadership under my belt. I'm the proud mother of an amazing 15-year-old son. That is my heart. And yeah, so I'm just here ready to answer questions, and I'm super excited. I'm just really big on pouring into others, spreading love, spreading light, spreading joy as much as possible. There's so much going on in the world, there's so much heaviness amongst all of us. Everyone is experiencing something, which is what I've been privy to, and just from communicating with people, from watching, from reading, and from just experiencing life myself, there's just a lot going on. So with the last name like Jones, I mean, how could I not do a play on Love Jones? So it's just a blessing that really is who I am. Like, that really is my mantra. That's my everything. Anyone who knows me knows that that is literally ironclad, like what I live by. So it's just a blessing that my name just happened to fit the cliche. So that's
Hey, awesome. That's awesome.
thank you.
So where you from?
I was born in Chicago, raised in Palatine, and I live in the South Burbs now.
Okay.
And when I say raised, I don't mean like when people say, yeah, I was raised in this city and I was there for like 2 years. No, first through 12th grade, I was in Palatine, which is it's predominantly Caucasian. Uh, and that is where my first book actually takes my readers through a journey of my life growing up in a predominantly Caucasian city, with me not loving the skin I was in, not loving my deeply melanated skin that I'm in love with now, but it was a journey. And
Absolutely.
people pleasing, falling in love with myself, the experiences I've had with my father, the relationship, how it went from not so great to amazing. So it's really just a journey. My first book is about me growing up there. That's kind of where it stemmed from, because that's where a lot of the painful internal lessons that I brought on myself began, which is
Okay, so
why I say,
let's before we get to that, because we are going to talk about that. We want to highlight you first. You
okay.
know, and I like the fact that you're open because you came on the show open already. So I appreciate that, because that's what this show is for. We're here to build a dialogue, have an openness, so that people can relate and talk about their experiences and struggles they went through and how they overcame them,
Absolutely.
while becoming who they are out in the community and things like that. So
Mhm.
let's highlight, like, let's talk about Shartia, the businesswoman. Let's talk about your businesses. Tell the people a bit about what you got going on a bit.
Okay, so I am a motivational speaker. So I definitely have that I get booked for. I get booked to speak. I get booked to speak to youth, to women, to men. Originally, it was geared towards women. However, with my education background, being a dean of students and such, it spread to the youth and just empowering. So that is my jam. I originally started off being an MC, and that piece
For the radio station?
I have been on the radio before. I have a certificate in TV and radio broadcasting, and I have had some voiceovers out there. However,
Okay.
just a professional MC in any realm. You have an event, give me a microphone, let's go. However, I'm doing like a rebranding because I would like to fall more into my motivating piece. But so many people know me from just emceeing or teaching dance because I'm a former Zumba instructor. And so a lot of people, I want you to teach a Zumba class. I want you to dance. I want you to dance, which is amazing. That's how I met a lot of my clients and things of that nature. However, as the businesswoman, I'm hired to speak. I am hired to assist people as far as if they need guidance, because I'm also a professional life coach. So I can assist in that space. And with all of that, because I've done so many things, coordinating comes into play. So sometimes I get hired to coordinate events, which is like the 720 event that's coming up. And so me as the businesswoman, I'm also a part-time real estate agent. So that comes into play when I operate and when I'm moving in that capacity. However, I wear a lot of hats. I'm actually in a place.
Yeah, I was actually about to say that. You said it before I said it. You wear many hats.
Yes.
And that's awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Ladies, take the reins. I asked some of my questions already. I have many more.
Okay,
But
I'm here for it.
who wants to go first?
Go ahead, Shay.
You're a Jackie of all trades, as I say to the ladies who wear many hats.
I like that.
You seem to be a very spiritual, healing, loving, caring person as I see you walk through this life journey.
Yeah.
Is there something that you've done in your community as you've outreached to the children that you can say really stuck with you as a highlight in your area?
Yes, let's see. I would have to say I was part of a charter network when I was a dean. And I would have to say being their dean and then having them be able to confide in me so much that some of them would have to actually see me before starting their day. So they found my space to be a safe space, because I wasn't a dean like, let me point my finger at you. I was a dean like, tell me, talk to me, what's going on? How can I help you? How can I help? And I was often the mediator between that scholar, these were 8th graders that I'm speaking about now, and their teacher or professor at times. You know, sometimes they would storm out of class and come right to me, and I would have to help in that situation and help them really move through their year with everything that they have. I always say that scholars these days are like my superheroes, because this is a different time that they're growing up in. It's so much happening. It's so many things that are on them and that are pressing for them that we didn't have to experience in our, adolescence and in our youth.
Absolutely.
And so just being able to assist them in navigating, and at the end of the year graduation, them hugging me, because I just came from several graduations, just saying, Ms. Jones, I could not have done it without you. And not that I needed to hear that because I need the accolade, just the simple fact that I was able to impart in their journey and to make sure that they understand that they do have some control over their emotions, to help them understand what emotions are and that you have a right to have them. However, how you respond in those spaces is key. We love you in these walls here, but you act like this outside of these 4 walls and people aren't going to be as kind. So also
Absolutely.
that real life into them, letting them know what's real, because I would say Ms. Jones does what? They say keeps it real, because that's what I do. So
Correct. Emotional intelligence that you're teaching the children, and then keeping them through that journey, and keeping a hold of them with the reality of the situation.
Come on. Real. That's it. The reality.
Yes, the reality, but then they also have to have the intelligence of it all. So I appreciate you for that. And
absolutely.
Queen. Is there something you want to address?
So, my question for you is, where do you pull your source of energy, the willpower to push forward with everything that you do, and what is your biggest inspiration that keeps you grounded and going forward in everything that you have going on, and how you uplift and feed into other people? How do you?
That is an excellent question. That is an excellent question. My source is God.
Amen.
Blank. I cannot do any of this without him. The moment that I realized the calling that was on my life and my purpose, I denied it. I ran from it for a little while. I really did, because I would do it because that was who I was. But then when I was asked to and encouraged to actually like make this a business, like your heart is set up different, sis. Like you need to really do this. When you speak, it's different. I feel comfortable about sharing around you. And when I started to receive that, I fought it for a little while because as a person who has gone through a lot, like all of us have, right? Broken hearts and pain and hurt and, just feeling defeated. I asked God and I prayed, and I always say this when I speak. I said, Lord, why me when I'm still a vessel? I'm still a work in progress. And he said, see, there you go, asking questions. I didn't ask you anything. I told you to do what I need you to do. And
Yeah, that's when he does his best work.
I'm going to take care of you. And
that's when he does his best work.
If you take care of them, I'm going to take care of you. And that is exactly what I do. I've done some of my best speaking in the deepest valley in my life. I've done some of the best encouraging to others when my heart was literally broken into pieces. And that's when I knew, like, okay, yep, God, you got me. You're going to have to take me through it. So God is my reason and he's my why. And so when I think of like what else presses me, it's my why's why. I always tell people you have to have something bigger than a why, because you're going to get tired and you're going to need to feel like you want to push. And what's going to help you? Sometimes you have to go beyond that why. You have to have a why for your why. For when you get up and you're like, well, yeah, my why is because I love my son and, I want him to be great and to see his mother do great things so I can leave him a legacy. Okay, so what happens when I'm tired and I don't feel like moving and I'm defeated because something happened that day? Well, my why has to go a little bit deeper. I have to be an example. I have to think critically about what this can do for myself, my family, other people who are counting on me if I have given my word. And so I always say, communicating that you can't communicate is still communicating. So some people will leave you high and dry. They won't communicate. They won't respond when they have made promises to you. However, if you're in a place that you don't have that capacity anymore, or something's changed, just communicate that. Because even in that effort, you are honoring your word to that person. Because as a busy person, just like all of you, there are times when schedules change, things happen, flip that. And what do? We communicate.
Yeah, and sometimes we compromise, and a part of the compromise is communication.
That's it. Yes, that's it.
Yeah. Okay. So I have another question.
Pregunta. Yes.
Tell the people a bit about your fitness thing that you got going on. Like, what's the name of your fitness company? How did it get started? And what was the inspiration behind that?
Okay, so Shartia Divine is my first like MC dancing name. That's why my name on IG is Shartia Love Jones _ Miss Divine, because I'm always be Shartia Divine. And that came about. I've been dancing since I was 3. My mom used to go out, and she came in one night from going out, and she came back from the Copper Box, for those who know what that is back in the day. And I would be like, Mom, like, what are you doing when you go out? Like, you're home so late. And I would just look forward to the White Castles, right? Because I knew she was coming in with that White Castles. And
burgers.
Come on. He's like, I dance, baby. And I'm like, well, I want to dance. And so one day she took me and she said I was acting real shy. And she said, girl, I got you out here and you talking about you want to dance. You better get on that floor. She said, I got there and did not stop dancing. Like,
awesome.
One time. And I said, and I haven't stopped. So just dancing has literally saved my life. That's in my first book. I have an alter ego. Her name is Catalina Monique. She is.
So where did that name come from with this alter ego? Break that down a bit.
Catalina.
Okay, yes.
Catalina.
Catalina Monique.
What's that,
Yes.
Catalina?
Hey, that's the sauce I put on my tacos. I put that sauce on my tacos.
Honey,
Right, I feel like I want to do some salsa, mommy.
Yes, she is Latina and Afro-American. Okay, she is a Dominican. And it came about because I actually really I love Spanish, right? So since I love Spanish, the name that I chose one year was Catalina. And so when that came about, I was like, I'm going to keep Catalina. So whenever I am in class, they ask you to, pick a name, pick a Spanish name, and I always pick Catalina. So when I did that, that stuck with me. And then, back in the day, when I was doing my play name was Monique. Somebody be like, "Hey, shorty," you know what I'm saying? Can I get to know you? What's your name? That's Monique, you know what I'm saying? So I blended the two. And that's Monique. And she is, when I go into that vein of Catalina Monique and I'm dancing, I literally am in a zone. Like I dance for me. I don't dance for other people. So people like, girl, you just dance anyway. You don't care, because I'm not doing it for other people. I'm doing it for me. Dancing saved my life. And I'm a sweater. Like I sweat a lot. So there were times that I was dancing and sweating and people couldn't tell if I was sweating or crying. And sometimes I was crying, and just really pushing myself through the different things in life. And so dancing stuck with me in high school. I was on all the dance teams and all the different things that we were doing in high school, the performances, the halftime shows and things like that. Being at the predominantly Caucasian school, we kind of started up our own little dance team. And then in college, I pledged. So I was in step shows. I was a stroll master. I'm getting it. Oh, you want to battle? Oh, that's not what you want. You don't want these problems.
No smoke.
And so after,
so you danced in battle as well, huh?
Oh yeah, I would challenge people.
Fun fact about Tigmatic, I did the same thing. I was a battler.
Let's go.
Definitely could pop.
She said, "Let's do it right now."
I definitely got the pop lock in me.
You don't want
I was
this?
a skater. I was a dancer.
You don't want this? So you hit that crossover and you know what's coming. Uh-oh, they didn't get the crossover. What's about to happen, right? And so later I was taking a Zumba class, and one of my Zumba mentors was like, "Girl, you always in the front cutting up. You need to just go ahead and get your certification." And I did. So I taught Zumba for 5 years at LA Fitness, and then I taught for 3 years at like different facilities. And then I just stopped because they wanted like $100 a month for me to carry your name when I can teach my own dances and learn my own moves.
Right.
Music,
right.
You to tell me what to do because I know how to do it. So I still do one-offs, if people want me to teach and things like that. I'm in the process of trying to rebuild my capacity, get my wind back, get my strength back. I've had 2 knee surgeries on both knees. So, I'm in a place where I'm trying to rebuild so I can at least teach once a week.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh,
nice.
That's pretty cool. Ladies, back to y'all, because I just asked 3 questions. Back to y'all.
I would like to know, is there a specific spiritual affirmation that you say to yourself daily?
Oh, there are so many. I'm like, okay, yep, there's one sitting right here in front of me. And
well, maybe there's some you could say to the people at home that you could share with them that they could say, because you are a motivational speaker, and maybe you could share your top 3 that you could say to the people that they could maybe, when they watch this, they can go back over it, and that would be something positive for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So my first one would have to be, it would have to be a scripture. And that is the one that I'm looking at right now that I leave in front of me when I'm at my desk. And that is Philippians 4:13. And that is, I can do all things. All things through Christ who strengthens me.
That's right.
So like people ask me, like, how do you do this? What are you going to do? How do you, face everything that you need to do every single day? And before I do anything, even before I got on this podcast today, I said a prayer. I don't care if it's quick. Lord, be with me. Give me the words. Be my voice. I die to myself, like whatever it is, because I know that if I give him the honor, the glory, and the praise, no matter what happens, it's going to come out the right way.
Absolutely.
when we don't have the words to pray or to speak because we're so defeated or tired, he understands words and mumbles and cries and the groans and the grunts. That's he can translate it, you know. So I just say, remind yourself that you can do all things because if God has brought you to it, he is going to get you through it.
Yeah, he's going to deliver on the back end as well, because he got a blessing for you to go through what you go through. He definitely has a blessing in store for you. And sometimes as humans, our flesh get weak and we just give up. Yeah. And you know, when we give up, that's a loss in faith. So you got to hold your faith. I commend you for even putting that out there into the world, because that's definitely the energy we carry here on the pot. Yeah. So I'm a stir for you. You know what I'm saying? Because that's definitely where, you know, I'm a strong believer in God. Yeah. I go to church. I read the Bible. Yes. I do it all. So, you know, I'm not one of those people that just be like, oh, yeah, God. No, I'm a strong believer. So for you to say that, that was pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome.
Thank you so much for that. Yes. I'm happy that you shared that with everybody. Thank you.
I'm excited about that, because at the end of the day, some people are so consumed with how they talk to God that it prevents them from talking to God.
Absolutely.
Talk to him. Mm-hmm. He knows everything. He already knows what's happening.
And some people don't want to talk because they say this line right here: God know my heart. Yeah, he know your heart, all right.
Yeah, but you still gotta talk.
And he knows you're not talking to him too.
I told God like he one of the homies. Like, what's up?
He's talking to you.
That's what I said. I talk to him like he's my dad, he's my friend, he's my cousin, he's my auntie. Every time, it doesn't matter, all day, every day, any moment. I can speak to God. So there is no constriction of how you speak to your father. There is no constriction.
Absolutely.
That's right. And another
everybody. Right. I appreciate you.
Is, Lord, what I've been saying for 2024 is, Lord, it's 2024. There are open doors in 2024. That's our vision statement for church. And so today, I want you to allow me to be in spaces that I'm supposed to be in and receive the blessings I'm supposed to receive and be the blessing I'm supposed to be every single day. Because every single day, there is something new for us. Every single day, there's something that can happen for us. Every single day. It only takes one. I tell people that all the time. Right. Never give up. Right. It only takes one moment, 1 second, one person, one contract, one check, one of anything to change your life drastically. You never know what's going to happen. And so always present yourself well. I emceed an event about 2 weeks ago. I walked into the event space and I had no idea like who was going to be there except for the person that it was for, right? Do you know that I ended up knowing about 10 people in that room? About 10 people in different capacities of my life, different times. And so when I was on the mic, I said, you never know who's going to be in what room, and you never know. So you better treat people in a great capacity, because all it would have taken was one of those police officers to say, you cool with her? Let me tell you about her. That's all it would have taken, was one. And this was a room full of police officers and sergeants and detectives, and because that's what the event was for. Right. And it just reminded me that you have to also be willing to be accountable. I appreciate that I'm divinely growing in my journey, whatever that is for you. Your journey may not be pretty, and that's okay. Always stop concerning yourself with what's going on social media, because they're showing you the sprout. They're not showing you what happened underground. They're
not showing you the back work.
Come on. They're not showing definitely you when they watered, when that seed was just small, and when I've emceed events and I've done events for no charge to get my name out there. They're not talking about those parts. They don't understand the things that you have to do to become where you are. And it's
the grind.
You know what I mean? So appreciate where you are on the journey, because sometimes we miss the moment worrying about what's going on ahead and what happened in the back, in the past. We're worried about that. So we're missing the now moment. What are you going to do about now? What are you doing in the now that can change and alter the future? Like, what are you doing?
That's right.
This is literally like,
I'm big on the mirror impact, on the mirror effect. So I have a class now because those people that were getting touched by my seminars were like, we need more. So I started a class. My first cohort of students will be graduating in 3 weeks. And they thought, thank you. They thought it was going to be fluffy, edify. It is that. But guess what? First, we're going to get that mirror, and you're going to put that mirror up for the first 5-6 weeks, because we're going to find out about you. I know we can point the finger about everybody else, but what are you doing that's preventing you from moving to the next level in your life? What hurt are you not acknowledging? What pain are you not getting through? What forgiveness are you not progressing in if you're not forgiving your own self?
Ooh, this is God just talking, because this is God just stirring that pot. So, I was talking about the mirror this morning. I didn't know we was going to talk about the mirror.
Come on, mirror.
And God just brought it all the way full circle.
Let's go.
He's always talking.
Now I gotta do both now. This is stirring the pot, but I gotta do the pot too.
Let's go.
For real.
I gotta hold this pot and stir it.
Yes, I appreciate that. And I always tell people, and I'm not saying it, I never ever speak from a place of perfection. I speak from a place of progression, because I'm still growing. I learn from my students. I learn from my son. I can learn from an infant based on what an infant is doing and how they're responding and what's going on and the different situations. You can learn from anybody. And so I always speak from a place of, I'm not perfect. I just learn and I'm honest. And unfortunately, this world these days, they don't want to deal with honest. If you're honest,
in today's time, we have this me culture, right? My wife and I talk about it all the time. It's me culture now. Everyone is obsessed with themselves.
Come on.
There's not really much talking about helping other people. It's a me factor going on. Right?
Oh my goodness.
So
speak on it, King.
It's hard to even pass on knowledge when people are so narcissistic, because even when you share the knowledge, they'll involve themselves in what you're talking about. Like, well, me, and I don't do that. But we're just talking hypothetically, but you're going to throw yourself in there just to make yourself relevant.
Yes.
At a time where we need people to really open their ears and listen, that's what this show is about. My show is really about, helping others relate to struggles, pain, traumas that they go through while still having to entertain the world. And dance is a part of entertainment in this world.
Yes.
So I see here that you did a little bit of TV on a television show. Why don't you tell the people a bit about that?
Oh my gosh. I can't wait. First of all, I can't wait to get back on the radio, and I can't wait to get back into TV.
Well, you're on the radio right now. Music Dreams USA Radio. I'm Radio.
Let's go. So I have a god brother named Neil Duncan. He is an amazing comedian. I'm trying to get back into it because he's taking a little hiatus, and he was the host of a show called In the Kitchen on Can TV. And so he was like, sis, I want to co-host. Like, I really, really want you to, be with me on In the Kitchen. So it was called In the Kitchen, but it wasn't a cooking show. It was really just, as a culture in our Black culture, what do we do in the kitchen? We talk, we communicate, we love on each other, we cry, we talk about things, we pray, families come together, friends come together, we break bread. And so that's what our show was about. So we would have a guest who we were, showcasing, and then we would just have open dialogue and just, edify, inform, entertain. And we did that show with our director, Miss Rose, God rest her soul. And then when she passed, the show just never kept going. She was like the heart of it. And so when that happened, it was devastating. But we did that show for 2 years. And I mean, it was a real studio. Like, it was a real, oh my gosh, I'm on TV. Like Can TV. Like, it was the local Chicago station, but it was still a station. So when I say lights, camera, action, clapboards, and guests take a break, get your water, you know, like it was real. I was like, wow, like it was.
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. So what, you know, what was something that you would say was an experience that you kept from doing that, you know, on TV?
That's a good question. I would say I was really able to internalize staying ready so you don't have to get ready.
That's my favorite saying.
Yeah, because
I'm laughing like that. I say that a lot.
Everything was happening on air. Like everything was like, okay, what happened? Okay, they're not here. Okay, great. All right, keep rolling. Okay, cool. Got it. You know what I mean? So really being able to multitask and pay attention to the directors, the cameraman at the same time, along with reading your co-host, being able to have that synergy between your co-host. So when they stop talking, you pick it up. When they throw it to you, you ready to ask a question. Like just really being able to engage in the moment. And most importantly, doing your homework. I do not pick up a microphone without doing my homework.
Absolutely.
So
that's
when
important.
People say, you know, people like, oh my God, how did you know to do that when you were, you know, at that event and when you did? I said, I mean, I just, even if it's a couple hours or 30 minutes or catching a snippet or figuring out something that person likes that I'm about to introduce them at their wedding. Oh, I'm going to be able to have some personal stories, right? And in doing so, a lot of times if we're coordinating a wedding, let's just use as an example, we'll go to their rehearsal dinner. We'll ask them how many things can we attend to make sure that we immerse ourselves in those spaces and just build as much synergy as possible, because the better you have that synergy with whomever you're working with, the output is going to be bananas and phenomenal. And your audience and the guests and friends are going to feel that. Be like, man, it seems like they've known each other forever. I love how they're vibing and how it's just moving. It seems like a consistent flow. Even if there are things happening in the background that we know always happens, people aren't even able to pick up on those things when you.
Absolutely. You know, that's something that I constantly do myself as you know, as a host.
Yes.
And the only reason I'm saying I in this moment, because you're speaking on something that that I want to share, right? I want to share with you know, everybody, everybody watching and y'all as well, right? I am a constant run the tape back guy. Every single episode that has been presented on the air,
yes,
I've watched at least 5 times.
I love that.
And the reason I've done that is because I want to learn both of my co-hostesses. I told y'all I was going to keep saying it. I told y'all. I like the joke, but I want to feed off of their energy, you know, and get better because, you know, I have radio experience. I was on WJXN, 2 Raw Radio. And I had to learn how to feed off the other person's energy. So everything that you're saying is absolutely true. And that's what I'm trying to build here with these 2 young ladies right here. You know, I want to feed off of their energy. I want it to be so kinetic for the people that when we talk, it's like, yo, they know what he about to say. I know what they're about to say. And yo, the chemistry is so dope that I want to keep watching this show. And that's what's actually happening.
That's it.
People are watching because they love all of our energy together. We try to keep it on the up and up. And when we're off of the air, folks, for those that don't know, we uplift each other all the time.
We be clowning.
We be clowning and we uplift each other.
I love that.
And that's important.
Yes, it is. Yes,
so,
it is.
So I want to say I agree with you in totality with that. And I think it's pretty dope that you know, have those beliefs and thoughts.
Thank you.
So what was growing up as a little girl like for you? Ooh. Let's break that down a bit.
Okay. Growing up as a little girl.
In your city.
In my city was a little challenging. Thank God I've always been smart. I've always been bright. So I didn't really have trouble in the education area. It was more so society. What society said was beautiful. And I've always been tall. I'm 5'10". So I know you can't tell because I'm sitting down. But I'm a tall woman. And I've been the tallest, the darkest, or the for lack of better terms, the thickest, and it wasn't so wanted back then. It was the size 2 models who were thin and so on and so forth. So growing up, I did a lot of self-sabotaging that really wasn't put on me by anyone but me, because it wasn't like I was being called out of my name and like my friends who were Caucasian was treating me a different type of way. It was just, when girls were getting chosen to date or to have crushes on and stuff like that, like it wasn't me. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't anybody who looked like me. It was the whole light skin, long hair situation happening, or the girl who was Caucasian and thin. It didn't, change really until I got to college. That was a different story. Okay. But,
look, I got the same story, but the male version. So I understand. They told me I was so dark, I made the street cry. But then when I got to high school, it's a different story.
Darky this, darky that, all of that,
I can relate.
And, so I had to learn to take my power back. My mother told me I was beautiful every day. However, something that I tell people when I'm speaking as well is that if you don't believe it, it won't matter who tells you.
Absolutely.
Telling you things until you realize and fully know it and believe it. So because I didn't feel that, it didn't resonate until like about 9 years ago. Like it's been, fairly recent. And so my father was in my life, however, not really in my life, if that makes sense. So he was present, meaning he was tangible, but he wasn't in the household. And so I missed out on that daddy-daughter love at that time. And, was just pulling love and trying to pull love in the wrong ways, in the wrong spaces, in the wrong capacities. And, I bumped my head a lot. But I had a fairly good experience as a little girl. I played a lot. I'm a tomboy. I just dress up well, but I'm really a tomboy. I would really prefer to be in leggings and a t-shirt all day.
Same tomboy all day.
Tank top, you know what I'm saying? Flip-flops, like that's just me. And I like
nothing wrong with it. To be honest with y'all, fellas like that a whole lot more.
Same time
because we like the imagination. This is a little secret for the females watching, because now I know that 68% of people that watch my show are female. Ladies, us men like the imagination. We need y'all to know that and understand that and hear it, receive it. We love imagination.
Yes.
Continue.
I love that. Thank you for that tidbit. Then we're gonna start it. So yes, I was a tomboy, but I played sports, basketball, volleyball, track. Like I love sports. So in addition to that, the dancing, I definitely was an athlete as well. So
that's what's up.
So I have a question.
Yes.
Being that you were raised in Palestine, do you feel like you were culturally deprived, or did you feel detached from your culture as an African American melanin woman?
Absolutely. And that is an amazing question. 100%.
Break that down a bit and tell us why.
Well, we weren't given, I feel like some of the things that were being done because, we have some students who are Black in here. So let's do something for, Black History Month. However, we don't have a book that relates to us. We don't have a class that relates to us. We don't have a club that specifically says, hey, you're in transition. Maybe you have culture shock. Let's figure out how to really relate and really pull and dive deep into how can we really care for our students of color, right? It was very, this is what we have, and, get in where you fit in. Now, of course, when it came to the athletes and stuff like that, like the football team, you know, those who were really, really great at, you know, is the same. You know, we had the star athletes who were mainly Black, you know, and things of that nature. So, of course, rallying around that and not necessarily being racist or anything, just probably not really knowing what to do and not utilizing any resources in order to do it better.
Absolutely.
So I would look forward to going to Chicago. Like when we were in the car and we began to cross a certain area, I said, oh yeah, I'm about to hang with my cousins. It's about to be on in Chicago. And so I did miss that. I did miss being able to just embrace more of what is happening with us, embrace more history, and to have it be meaningful, not just reading about slavery and that being the only thing. And then talking about that. And then once we get to slavery, people being like, well, that wasn't me. You know, you shouldn't be mad at us, you know, and that's like the basic, you know, communication, instead of maybe inviting our parents to say, okay, we're about to go over the curriculum, and the part that we're doing is related to slavery. Is there anything that you have in mind? Is there something that you would like to do? Is there anything, are there any projects that you would like to see move forward? What type of books are we reading? We didn't read To Kill a Mockingbird.
Right. Well, you know, they took that out of the curriculum in today's time.
Yeah.
They took a lot of books out that are very important to Black culture out of school on purpose. And it is because we're the type of people as a race, and not to say this like it's a bad thing, because it's not.
Right.
And we should be proud of it, that we want to know our heritage and our history,
right,
because it was stripped from us.
That's it.
So if the history is stripped and we can't really tell our own story, we're going to search for it some kind of way.
That's it.
You know, and I agree, you know, like that's something that's important. So there's nothing wrong with people trying to find out who they are, not just here, but here in the heart. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to know that. And it's a legacy thing. If you don't know and you're stripped from your culture, what can you really pass on for real? Except American culture.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Absolutely. And it would be certain things that we could participate in, you know, but it just, I never really felt connected to my Black people unless I was literally connected with them, like hanging out with them.
That's deep.
Things, how we would go out and rally up and be in the stands together at the basketball games, or you know what I mean? Like when that would happen, or when we get in a circle and now we're dancing, you know what I mean?
Socially.
Stuff like that. But as far as anything additional, I think that they could have done better with figuring out what to do. They had enough money, trust me. And the culture was so different that's why after I received my educational certificates and, you know, all of that, I wanted to come back to Chicago because I was a freshman at Palatine, and I had the same, I was a freshman, and my cousin had the same book in Chicago as a junior. And when I didn't even show her because I felt so bad, but I brought my books, you know, because I was staying at her house, and I was like, why does she have the same book? She is a junior. And that just proved to me the huge educational gap that was present. And I was like, yeah, no, that's not okay. I'm gonna have to teach in the hardest staff schools. That's where I'm gonna have to be at, you know, when I am doing that and participating, because it's just so unfair. You know, it was really unfair. And so.
Was that a moment for you where you were like you said, was that a moment for you kind of where you looked back in life and said, wow, this is definitely going to propel me into the educational field where I'm going to change lives for children? Because if I can see my cousin in this situation and I'm over here propelled, that was the moment.
That's actually it. You hit it on the head. Like, I literally believe that was the moment when I was like, oh no. Like that's not fair. That's unfair. So let me pour as much as I can. Let me bring the curriculum the way that I can. So I've always, I still have students whom I taught in 1st and 2nd grade that are now grown that follow my pages. And that when I put some up, oh my gosh, Ms. Jones, you're my favorite teacher. You always told me I can do it. You were so inspiring. And I just wanted to do something, because that gap in the amount of money per student that they spend in comparison to what's spent on inner city scholars is completely different. And
Absolutely.
That's why the resources are so slim. And it's why charters are popping up everywhere, because they want to be able to abide by some of the rules of the, CPS legislation, but they don't have to abide by all of the rules. So they're able to bring in their own curriculums. They're able to bring in different contracts and resources for scholars, and they don't have to jump through as many hoops because they're a charter or private school. So
I've heard of that before. Yeah. I've heard of that before. So moving forward, going from grade school, high school into college, how was it? I know you was excited when you got into college. You was like, ooh, yeah, it's gonna go down. But when you got there, how was it culturally for you, growing from having just this predominant, Caucasian teaching to actually going into being around the actual culture that you feel like you were stripped from?
It was culture shock at first. Like, I couldn't believe it. NIU was still a predominantly Caucasian school. It wasn't an HBCU. I wanted to go to an HBCU. I got accepted at an HBCU, Grambling to be specific. However, because I didn't have the family backing and support, I was timid. So I didn't go away. I stayed close. It was better. So like the first week of school on campus, before school starts, like the Black Student Union has an event. All the Greeks are there, loving on you, letting you know they're there for you. You see all the different teams and organizations and just all the different resources and the small communities within the communities that are really there for you. And the first party happened and I'm like, oh, I'm about to go crazy. I'm about to dance. I already know what this is, right? So I immediately felt like this is somewhere that I can feel better about me. This is somewhere that I can feel better about me and more confident about what I'm doing. And I can find myself here, because I was lost when I got to college, and I was lost a few moments in college. However, that was the first time that I said, the decisions that I make here are on me. Like, I'm here, and that was scary in itself. And once I found a couple friends and, things started happening and I started to really, really build me, because for the first time I'm walking on campus and it's like, oh, Thick is in here. Oh, okay. Got it. Because I was so used to it not being the thing, to dark skin not being a thing, to, hey, beautiful, chocolate queen. Like, oh, y'all cool with y'all over here?
Sorry about that, folks. Sorry about that.
That's okay. And so I really just felt like I could really start figuring me out. Like, I had the actual capacity to figure me out. That's when I started to read, and I started to, write poetry, and just kind of figure out, how to heal from heartbreak. And that's when I started really listening to like TD Jakes and Les Brown. And so that's when I started really, really starting to be motivated, because those are some of the people that motivated me.
Very inspirational people. Very inspirational people.
And those are some of the people,
especially Les Brown, both of them, Les Brown and TD Jakes.
They pulled me out of a lot, and so I was like, hey, I know what it feels like to be like this. I want to be one of those people that helps people get out of that rut, that helps to lift people. And, helps to inspire them and let them know that they can do anything, is possible for them. And I wanted to be that person because it took other people to see the gifts inside of me before I even saw them inside of me, to pull it out of me to do it. And so I wanted to be that for someone. I want to be that light for people. I want them to know that you too can do it. And it's enough out here for all of us. We each have our own light. Imagine if we all lit up and touched hands and held hands and did it together. Imagine how bright we would be, right? So that's what ended up happening to me in college. And then when I pledged and life got busy and, just kept moving. So college was an experience. I miss it.
So you have an event that you have coming up really soon. Tell us about that. Educate us on that event that's going to be coming up. If they wanted to show up and partake, how can they find out where to reach you and pull up on you?
Pull up on me on 7/20/2024, y'all. We have been planning for this event for about 10 months. When I tell you I am so grateful to God that it is about to be here, I'm so happy. So this is the first Chicago Outdoor Fitness and Dance Festival. So we will be in both of this, like all of my worlds coming together in one event.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So it's led by our lead cat. She is the founder of Next Level Dance Foundation, the Next Level Dance Foundation. And her organization was founded during COVID when the babies had nothing to do. So she started to teach dance. So what ended up happening is we ended up partnering with DCASE and a village in the city. And we are bringing the festival to Morgan Park on 116th in Oakley in Prairie Park. And it's going to be amazing. We have fitness instructors starting off from 8 to about 12. And then we have entertainment.
What's the date again on that?
It's this Saturday, 2024.
Okay. Yes.
And when
we are
right?
Working and dancing. We
will
be working
8 a.m. to 6:30, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. You know the time. You better come on and start that popping yourself.
Fitness classes and vendors and everything, folks.
Yes.
Live music, DJ.
Oh my gosh. So we have D9. We have D9 that's DJing. We have, oh my goodness, let's talk about it. We have D9 that's DJing. We have Boy Genius that's DJing. We have Quiet Storm that's going to be joining us to assist. We have Mike D, Creation. We have Red's Angels. We have the Jesse White Tumblers. Kylan is singing. We have Trey who's doing an MJ experience.
I'm finna start stretching now.
Y'all, it's about to be so bananas. And I am actually not on the mic.
You're not gonna see it?
It's been
That's pretty cool.
So hard. It's been so hard. So we had a sneaker ball about 3 weeks ago, right? And so I was MC for that. And Boy Genius came. Y'all, he's a beast, right? So Boy Genius came, and today he during our conference call for the event, he really brought me to tears because he was like, Shartia, you're amazing on that microphone. He was like, I can't wait to see you in so many capacities. And he just started giving me my flowers like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, because sometimes it's not that you want to be put on a pedestal, but it's nice when other people see who you are and what you come with, especially other professionals.
Absolutely.
And it was such a beautiful moment. And so it's been hard to not be on the mic, but I am the stage and production manager. Nice. So I am all things backstage, all things stage, all things making sure they're running right, making sure everybody's ready. The DJ has their songs ready to go. So I'm managing all of that. And so it's a different space. I'm not gonna lie, it's hard because I want to be on that microphone.
I want to commend. Go ahead, Queen.
Yeah, I just really want to say this to you because like we know each other. We're very close with each other.
Yes.
And to be honest with you, I feel like when you say you do the mirror method, I honestly feel like I am a mirror of you. And like for you to say some of the things that you're saying is like literally the steps that I'm going through, the process that I'm going through. And we haven't talked about a few things, but for the most part, you know what I'm saying? I really, really do appreciate you being a part of my life and being a part of the inspiration of why Queen J. Shari moves and does and loves and appreciate people the way I do, because you pour into so many people all the time, and it's like it really feels good right now to be able to pour back into you, because you're a cup that just keeps pouring and pouring, and you deserve your flowers so much. You know what I'm saying? Like we've been through situations together, and we've walked through those situations together, hand in hand, holding each other back. You know what I'm saying? Back to back. You facing this way, you facing north, I'm facing south, and we're moving. And you know, I really appreciate you for being the amazing angel soul that walks this earth and pours and does God's work the way that it needs to be done. I appreciate you so much for being an amazing soul in my life and for blessing these people today, because there are so many people who needed to hear this. You know, all of us needed to hear this. For me, it was an affirmation to let me know that I'm doing the right thing. I'm on the right path. And that's why I just have to let you know that I am a mirror. I am you in the process of learning how to get to where you're at. I'm steps behind you, and I appreciate you being my guide, my footsteps, and to lead me through still waters. You know what I'm saying? So like you're doing God's work, and I'm glad that God put you in my life for me to be able to follow behind you, because you are a leader creating another leader, not another follower.
Hey.
Thank you so much for that. I received that on so many levels, and I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful that God allows me to touch people, because he didn't have to choose me. And I always say that I'm the strongest, most emotional person, because God had to make me emotional so that I could feel people, because I can feel people literally. And I just thank you for that. I thank you for trusting me in that space. It's hard to trust people to be in that space. And I thank you for being there with me in spaces and times that I was not sure of what to do and I didn't know. So you're not two steps behind me. You're walking right next to me. We're walking together. And
he's walking with both of y'all.
Yes, I honor who you are, and I'm grateful. I just continue to ask God to bring people in my life who are going to be real, because I'm so tired of people who just pull and pull and pull. And not only, it's not even so much that they have to pour back into you, but at least be real. You know what I mean? At least be organic and authentic in who you are. And I have to say, from day one, you have just been awesome. You have been awesome.
I appreciate you.
I follow you from afar, and
y'all kind of got me emotional out this joint. But that is all the time. We got 1 minute left, folks.
Okay.
You ladies.
So, Shartia, tell the people where they can reach you.
Yes, you all can reach me on IG at Shartia. That's SHARTIA.
I apologize for getting your name wrong.
You didn't say it wrong. You just called me Tia. Tia's cool.
No, I spelled it wrong.
Oh,
my apologies.
Oh,
my apologies. I was moving a little too fast because Queen was on my top. Queen was sending me text after text like, yo, send the link. She in the room. She trying to do. I was rushing. So I misspelled it.
I typed
and the phone put the name that it wanted to put in instead of the name I was trying to write.
And you know
what? Know how it goes.
And it usually does, because people usually call me Sharita anyway. So I already know what it is.
So my apologies, Shartia.
That's okay.
Hey, listen, you got to come on Stirring the Pot so we can do some, show some video of you doing your classes and things like that.
Absolutely.
I want to say I appreciate you for coming on, for being brave to open up and to share things with the people, because it takes a certain type of person to come on and be open and talk to people in the first place. I want to say thank you for putting God first in everything that you do, because without him, none of us would exist, and none of the things that are positive in your life wouldn't be happening if it wasn't for him. I want to say to you, continue to put him first in your journey so that you can have many blessings. And, even though we think about the blessings, it's deeper than the blessings. It's more about the work. You know what I'm saying? Continue the work so that God's purpose can be used. You know what I'm saying? So I want to say thank you again. And you got to come on Stirring the Pot. This is the pot / Stirring the Pot. But
I got to come back.
Stirring the Pot is where we get to act the fool and be funny and, just be our bubbly selves. But, God intended this episode to be the way it was for his purpose. And I do not deny that or reject that. And,
and my Afro got some cool for y'all today. It's Afroing, baby. That humidity did something. I'm like, whoa, what are we doing? But I can't wait to come back. I thank you all. You all have been
thank you.
Amazing. And book 3 is coming out in September, so I'm gonna need to see y'all again real soon.
Okay, so when the book come out, you already know. Just hit me up. Say, hey, Tig, look, I know you now, so yo, Tig, I got something booming, and I just, listen, don't be afraid to reach out with anything that you got going on, any endeavors. You're more than welcome to just send me a little shout, and I'll respond instantly. These ladies can tell you, when they send me a text, I'm on it just like that.
Just like that?
Yes, just like that. That's why I had to do 2 fingers. You know what I'm saying?
I love it. I love it. You are.
Yeah, so thanks for coming on. It has been another episode of The Pot / Stirring the Pot. I am your host, Tigmatic, the real Shea Rosa, Queen Jay Ashari, and we out, folks. Peace.
Hey.